What did you find most challenging in being the chairman of the PLC, and how did that, if it did, refine your concept of leadership?
So you have to remember that I was chairman and CEO of Schlumberger. And Schlumberger is a New York Stock Exchange listed company. And there's a huge difference between the US and the UK. Because in the US, you know, okay, most of the energy CEOs are in Houston, but then you have CEOs in Detroit, Chicago, New York, Boston, San Francisco, Los Angeles. In London, everyone is here. It's a goldfish bowl, you know. And I like all goldfish bowls, the fish bump into each other, you know, and they criticize, you know, and between the press and the shareholder community, you don't get time to do anything sensible, you know. And also I find that within the shareholder community in London, between the governance people and the fund managers, there's a huge amount of hypocrisy. The fund manager will say, no, that's fine, we don't mind, you do that. But when the governance people scream, they abandon you completely. So, you know, I suffered in BG partly because of things that I did, which, you know, I had no idea would cause such a row in London. They wouldn't have caused the slightest wave in the US, but they did in London. And frankly, I didn't enjoy it. Now, how did it? I think that the only refinement to my concept of leadership is that I actually believe that there is no massive evidence, as people claim, in saying that the separation of the CEO and the chairman job is the right governance solution. And whereas in the US you have combined CEO and chairman, and you have a senior independent director or a lead director who has much more power than he does in the UK. Because for a chairman and a CEO to get along takes a huge amount of maturity. Because you don't, you know, it's very difficult for a chairman to know when he should be intervening on what the CEO is doing and what he shouldn't be doing. And actually, I was very lucky in the end, in as much as I got a CEO who not only did I know very well, but we get along well and we can interface. And, you know, I was able to quite naturally revert to the role of giving him advice, but not dictating anything to him. But it doesn't seem to work that often in London. And also, I think that chairmen in London have way too high a profile. You know, what do these guys do? 3 days a week, they get paid a fortune, you know, and what do they really add, you know? So you know, I was asked, I know I made that remark to Ed Crooks of the Financial Times, and you know, one of the nice things about being retired, or sort of retired, is you can actually choose, you know? And he said, would you do another PLC? So I said, no, you know, it was painful enough the first time. I'm not going to do another one. But yeah, the only refinement to my concept of leadership was how this interface between a non-executive chairman and a CEO works.
And I think your point of reference was you spent most of your career in Paris, is that right?
No,
Schlumberger?
mostly in the US.